in the game where it's a positionless sport when you talk about the game of basketball. When you talk about a guy like Jayson Tatum, he's not nailed down to one position. Jayson Tatum is a versatile player, meaning if you want him to play the point, he could play the point. If you want him to play the two, he could play the two. If you want him to play the wing, the three, the four, the five, whatever you want him to play, he's 6'9" with a versatile package on both ends of the floor. Jayson Tatum, the last time the Team USA won the gold, Kevin Durant was the best player. You know who was the second best player? It was Jayson Tatum. My thing is, if you're Steve Kerr, and Steve Kerr called out all his accolades and what this man has accomplished, you know what Jayson Tatum is going to bring to the table. You do not disrespect him and embarrass him the way that you did. Because in this world today, we live in a world of social media. We can't run from it. We can't hide from it. It's right there in front of our face. And nowhere in here you're going to tell me that Jayson Tatum wasn't embarrassed. The brand of looking on social media or hearing about it, because at the end of the day, yes, we should be talking more about Kevin Durant. Yes, we should be talking more about LeBron James after what they did last night. But you know what was the real topic of the game? Jayson Tatum with a DMP. My thing is, if you asking me who he's going to replace Derek White. In a game that's it's a positionless game when you talk about the game of basketball.
Yeah. Big JTV, man. Like, comment, subscribe, like, comment. Of course, subscribe, man. We're going to talk about it. We're going to really talk about it. And we're talking about Big Perk, going off on Steve Kerr and the USA men's basketball team for benching Jayson Tatum throughout the whole entire game. And, like, when I say the whole entire game, he didn't get a single minute of play, man. Not even one. Not even a second. He was riding that bench like a bench warmer, man. He was bench warming, man. You know, he was averaging high fives and claps and standing up and screens. That's what he was averaging. And the thing is, the controversy here, when we're talking about, you know, the game of basketball, and we're talking about this guy, Jayson Tatum, we're talking about a guy who was an all-NBA player. First team all-NBA. Over LeBron, you know what I mean? Over KD, obviously. First team all-NBA. And at this point, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's the highest paid NBA player currently. Why does that matter? That matters a lot because you're talking about an individual strictly who just came off winning a championship, who's trying his best to win Finals MVP, but that went to Jaylen Brown, whose teammate who came in, Derek White, had more minutes versus Serbia than himself. You know what I mean? That's why Perk went off. And for me, I look at it like this. You have to understand what's going on with Team USA right now. Steve Kerr is not playing exhibition games no more. He wants to win. And that's not a problem because winning is different with different teams and different rotations. Now, look, I'm not a Steve Kerr guy. I actually think that Steve Kerr, as a coach, inherited such a great team that he, being a great coach, is really in question. I think he's a good coach. Is he a great coach? I don't think he's a great coach. I think he is mid or above average at best. I'm just going to keep it a mean. Why? Because Mark Jackson is the one who created that Warriors team. It was Mark Jackson. And if it wasn't for Mark Jackson's religious thoughts, which is the irony of this, because apparently the left, which is most of San Francisco and Oakland, is so tolerant, right? But they're not tolerant of people who are very religious. Funny enough. Ain't that funny? The tolerant left. Anyways, back to the main point of what I'm saying here. If we're looking at the Golden State Warriors, what happened was Steve Kerr came in on the tail end, man. He inherited a team that was already going into the finals. That was already going into their prime. A lot of players who are moving into their prime, namely Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, approaching his prime or getting right there in his prime. And people don't want to say it, but Draymond Green as a leader and as a defensive stopper, approaching his prime or right there in his prime. What do you think was going to happen, man? 2 plus 2 does not equal 7, man. It equals 4. And guess who got 4? The Warriors got 4. Right? I could maybe give them some credit for that last ring they got 2 years ago versus the Boston Celtics. But in general, Steve Kerr as a coach, I've always felt some type of way. I'm like, bruh, you didn't develop these players. You inherited teams. So let's go to the main point of what I'm saying in this video. Because Steve Kerr inherits teams, he's not the best at rotations. I've been questioning his rotations. So when he decided to put LeBron basically in most of the game and have KD coming off the bench and absolutely killing it, shout out to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant had an amazing game. He basically shot 80% or like 85%, something crazy. You know, perfect from 3, 5 for 5, 23 points coming off the bench, off an injury. When KD gets in that bag and when he's feeling it, when he's hot, you do not touch him, dog. No diddy. When he's hot, you don't touch that man. No diddy. And at that point, at the small forward position, you're dealing with a Serbia team that it has a lot of height, a lot of length, a lot of size. So you need that. You don't have a lot of wing players on Serbia, okay? So what Steve Kerr did, I believe his strategy was to have a lot of bigs, to run a big rotation. You know what I mean? And if you really think about it, Jayson Tatum, you'd have to make him almost like a catch and shoot type guy on some, Devin Booker. And ironically, Devin Booker had a great game because Devin Booker can really play off the ball. He doesn't need to be ball dominant, right? In general, man, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that, yes, I agree. Yes, it's gonna sound crazy, but I agree with Steve Kerr's decision to bench Jayson Tatum. And when you're looking at, Perk, Kendrick Perkins is gonna be cheering for his guy. He's gonna be biased. You know what I mean? I don't blame him for that. You want to chip with the Boston Celtics. It's not something you can be mad at. But when you look at the flow of the game, and I watched parts of the game, I watched a little bit of the ending. When it came to the first quarter, Serbia kind of had them. Serbia was leading by about 5 points heading into the end of the first quarter. Second, Kevin Durant, he basically went 5 for 5. You know what I mean? Didn't miss his first 8 shots. And the game was done. By halftime, the blowout was starting. So at that point, he could have brought in Jayson Tatum. But I didn't see a point. The offense was flowing crazy. You know what I mean? Anthony Edwards was dunking on everybody. LeBron was getting 9 assists, passing to everybody. Kevin Durant he literally could not miss. And Serbia, you could see their energy going down lower and lower. Now, could he have put him in within the last 5 minutes of the game? Almost like, okay, you know what I mean? Clear out the bench? Yes, but I don't think so. Because the rotations are going to change depending on the competition they play. South Sudan has a lot of wing players. They're going to play South Sudan. You're going to need Jayson Tatum in that game. You know what I mean? You look at a team like Canada, a lot of great guard play. So they're going to have to go small ball. You're going to have to see Jayson Tatum at probably the 3 or maybe the 4. You know what I mean? At that point, because you can play LeBron at the 4, put Jayson Tatum at the 3. Small ball rotation. You know what I mean? Maybe put KD at 5. See, that's how it goes. And you know what? I was impressed with how Steve Kerr handled the game and handled the movement and the players and the rotations. It was impressive. See, I'm still skeptical about Steve Kerr, but if he can pull this off, this is going to be very, very impressive because there is a lot of NBA quality players on a lot of international teams, man. So let me know how y'all feel about it. Do you believe that Steve Kerr did the right thing or did the wrong thing? Let me know how you feel. JTV, man. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.